Preparing to live stream the meeting. Meeting is now streaming live on YouTube. Okay, so one site says it's still setting up. The other site's like, no, you're already doing it.
Do I look like Popeye?
Preparing to live. Quiet. All right, so I'll turn that down.
Popeye for you.
Oh,
Guys like Popeye, really. I'll learn that.
You're Popeye? What?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
It's true.
now that's like Robin Williams. Oh.
How dare you? Don't
You play Popeye.
All right, so we're going live.
Let's do this.
So
we'll do it live.
Wait until the hold on. Okay. So wait until you hear the end of the song to start saying anything, okay? Don't talk during the song.
All right.
Oh, wait a minute.
I've never heard this song.
Oh my God, stop talking. Let's see.
I'm excited about the song.
Shh. All right.
Is that the whole song?
That was our little intro song.
It goes bum 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 bum, and that's it.
Yeah, what else do you want it to do?
I just hadn't heard it before. I expected it to be a little longer than bum bum bum.
Oh, I mean,
bum bum.
So I've been definitely following more podcasts and stuff, and I realized that the ones that have really long intros, I usually skip through.
Well, sure, for sure.
I just skip because I'm like, I don't care. Stop it. Just move on. Just get to the good stuff, get to the dead bodies and all that.
Unless they have a Grammy award winning theme song. Then it's,
I will say this: anyone who does want to listen to us and skip through this intro, we are now on Spotify and follow any other podcast sites or whatever.
Skip right through it. So I didn't listen to the last episode because I don't listen to the episodes, but you're telling me that I sounded drunk.
Yes. Sheepdog sounded very drunk.
Which is funny because I do not drink.
He does not drink, ladies and gentlemen. So stop sending us that fan mail about how you were clutching your pearls at Sheepdog drinking. Come on.
Yeah, I don't need an intervention.
Yeah, we had to print out all those fan mail letters and we just ripped them up, threw them in a fire. We're like, chill. Relax.
Chill. There's a lot of people here that really like you a lot. And they want to tell you how your drinking has affected their listening enjoyment of this podcast. There's no drinking. I have an energy drink, if that counts.
I mean,
Karen.
Makes you more. I had a kid that I was babysitting tell me, my mom said that actually that I can get one of those. And I'm like, do you know? Oh, because we were at the grocery store and I was picking one up. And I'm like, do you know what I'm getting? And she said, that drink. And I'm like, an energy drink. Yeah. I'm like, you don't need an energy drink.
What are you talking about? I need energy. I want to go to the playground. Woo! We can stay up all night. We can do our taxes. That'll be fun.
What were we even doing that day? Oh, we were looking for trains. That was a fun day. Yeah.
You were train spotting.
No.
Who's late? Who's a toaster oven?
But I don't know if you caught that a little bit ago. I just said, yeah, we're now on. You were saying that we were on all podcasting platforms.
One darn platform.
Days ago or whatever, you sent me that message, and I'm like, oh no, we're not. But
yeah, I made a graphic. You can get us wherever you will get your podcast.
Right.
I don't know where we are.
On everything.
We are now?
Everything.
Everything?
We're all over the world.
We're on stone tablets. That's
Yeah.
how up to date we are,
Oh,
ladies and
sure.
gentlemen.
It's the number one thing.
Cutting edge
Uh,
technology on stone tablets.
Speaking of how stone tablets are super old. You know
Well,
what's been around for years?
hmm.
Don't call it a comeback, but East Coast people, it's almost that time again.
Uh-oh. Dance party.
That time when you step outside and you hear the wonderful screaming. You know what I'm talking about?
Screaming.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
It's actually been 17 years since Brood X, the cicadas, were out and about.
Yes. Yeah.
So they're coming back. Yeah, it's sometime in April or May, and they come out, they scream, they get down,
Mhm.
and then they're out.
And it's all hot dogs and donuts.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. A lot of the fancy schmancy yes, fancy schmancy high-end restaurants out there, they actually use cicadas in a couple of their dishes.
Really?
Yeah. They say it
It
tastes
doesn't
like
sound like crunchy.
well, they probably like mash them, boil them, stick them in a stew or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
boil them, stick them in a stew. Yeah, I got ya.
Yeah, they're coming out in the trillions,
And
apparently.
then they shed their skins, their exoskeletons,
Mhm.
and
then
they leave them, and
they
they look like little cicadas sitting there.
they fly around, but not very well. And then they go, "Hey, honey, you want to get down?" And then the little cicadas are like, "Yeah, we'll be back in 17 years. Bye."
Wienermobiles crashing into Randy's Donuts.
And yeah, so they're around till about mid to late June, and then they're out of there. But between April, May to June, there's just like animals eating them and people eating them, and they're just trying to reproduce.
What do they do the rest of the time?
Oh, they just hang out underground eating roots. Eating roots,
Mm.
yeah, and they're just like, and they're like, okay, now it's time to go. Whee! Yeah.
And then they start screaming, "Hello!
Yeah, basically, they're just like,
Whoa! What's the party over there? Hot dogs, donuts!
I
Yeah!"
mean, I guess it's and they scream pretty loud. It's 90 to 100 decibels.
We could do a rap song about cicadas.
It's
Yo, it's a party over here. Come on, it's hot dogs, donuts, and lots of beer. Yeah, there we go.
yeah. But I mean, think about that. What kind of life would that be? You just stay in your home for about 17 years, and then once every 17 years you come out, do a little boom boom, and then you die.
Humans aren't capable of that. We've been quarantined for a year, and people they're screaming in Miami Beach.
Well, I guess they're kind of like cicadas then.
Yeah, they just want somebody to mount them like a cicada.
Right.
Yeah. We couldn't do it. 16 years indoors? That's what homeschooled kids do. And they're weird. They all cut their own hair.
Hey, I'm pretty sure most kids will have cut their own hair out at least once in their life.
Well, yeah.
Their bangs. I see you kids. I know your parents didn't cut your bangs like that. That was all you.
Safety scissors out.
Yeah, the two little boys that I babysit, they cut their hair once, and I'm like, oh.
And then they did the super glue challenge, which you should not do, folks. Just don't do it.
Super glue or Gorilla Glue?
I don't know. When
I was a kid, I remember getting super glue and just putting my hands together and being like, now I could just rip it. Oh no. And well, at the time it was not ripping. And so then I'm like panicking, and then I read on the little container, it's like, put underwater for blah 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 minutes if in warm water and it'll come off. And I'm like, I hope so. My mom isn't home yet, but she will be in like 2 hours. And then I just had my hands under warm water for a couple of whatever, half an hour or something, and then it came apart.
It's people like you that contribute to the water shortage in Southern California.
This was in the East Coast, okay?
Oh, excuse me.
So it was allowed.
You just went out in the rain and you let it.
No, it was in a sink, and so I just filled the sink and then kept my hands there while I was listening to Arthur in the other room.
You can certainly fill a sink in the East Coast. Here, you can't do it. For some reason, everybody washes their dishes with a sponge, and they just turn on the water to get the sponge wet, and then they do the one dish, and then they turn on the water to get the sponge wet again. It's weird. That's one of the things you notice when you move to California, or I would imagine the other direction too, is that people do the dishes differently. Different coasts. Different
Yeah,
parts
I
of the
mean, I
country.
just let my cats lick everything off of the plates.
Oh, goodness gracious. I hope
No.
I hope you reserve that just for the plates. Yikes. Those hairy little tongues.
Well, you see, Buggy has the sharper tongue, so she takes off all like the crusty stuff.
She's
And-
your SOS pad.
Right. And then Luffy, he has the softer tongue, so he just like does the soft stuff.
So Luffy's more like a loofah.
Right.
Okay. Well, that works. That's how you got the name.
Right.
You take it from the shower.
Actually, poor Lufa Doof. One of my friends does call him Lufa. So
Loofah.
Lufa.
I'm gonna start. Oh, loofah. I'm gonna start calling Lumpia
Lumpy.
because he's like a little tiny Asian burrito.
He's really not. Well, okay,
that-
yeah. Let's move on. What do you have for us today?
Well, I need you as the resident millennial to explain something to me. Although this might not be a millennial thing, this might even be beyond you, because it made a big deal. It was all over the news, and I didn't pay any attention to it at all. I'm going to need you to explain to me what the controversy was with Lil Nas X.
Oh my
Lil
God, I
Nas
knew you were
X.
gonna say that. I could, as you were getting towards the end, I was like, Little Nas. Okay, so Lil Nas X. Okay, so. Did you watch the video?
I have not watched the video. I heard that he slides down a stripper pole and gives the devil a lap dance. That's all I, because
Okay.
I
so
just saw
let
like
me-
people
let
talking
me
about
just give you the rundown on the video, okay?
Okay. Yes.
Picture this.
Okay.
Sicily. No, I'm just kidding. No. So,
1932, Sicily. We're in sepia tone. Okay. Go.
so Lil Nas X is amazing, and he's
He did
beautiful out there.
Old Town Road, right? That's him. Right?
And Panini and Holiday and I'm totally blanking on the last one. Okay, anyway, he's chilling in the Garden of Eden. Pretty sure he was strumming a guitar. Wow, I've watched this video a couple of times and I already forget. Anyway, and then all of a sudden, what is it? The snake. There's a snake, sneaky snake,
Okay.
and sneaky snake seduces Lil Nas X.
Okay.
Then he's getting judged by people, and then they're like,
By people or by like Judgment Day, or just by people on Earth?
he's being judged by some celestial forces.
Gotcha. Judgment Day.
I'm pretty sure celestial. Anyway, they go to, well, I mean, they don't actually do this. That's me just doing it. Whatever. So he gets sent to hell. Okay. So he,
As you do.
does his amazing dance, which he trained for that. Like that, none of that was CG. Well, I mean,
Wait, CG dance moves.
I mean, yeah, the fucking background was CG, but okay, him
Gotcha. Okay.
actually doing the dance on the pole, that was all him. Like he trained for that. There's, yeah. So
He took an aerobics class.
he took a pole dancing class.
Okay, gotcha.
Just anyway, so he went down to Georgia, but also hell. And he gets down there, and so yeah, he's like, I'm gonna, do a little dance, do my dancey dance for the devil. And then he's like behind him and then goes and kills him.
Oh, he kills the devil.
Yeah. Which
So as he's giving him a lap dance, he kills him?
yeah.
Okay. All right. Nice.
Which that part, they kind of don't want to mention. Like, I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Nobody has said like, oh, he defeated the devil. That's pretty amazing. Well, I mean, on the side of the fanatics, the religious fanatics, going
Right.
oh, it's so bad that he did a lap dance. Yes, but did you watch the fact that he didn't just do a lap dance? He did a lap dance and then killed him. Like, that's pretty badass.
Well, they like to focus. I noticed when Tucker Carlson talked about WAP, he was like, this is the only part I can show you on television. And then he showed the most controversial part. Okay, you can't show the rest of it. You can only show the most controversial.
When they're walking down the hallway, is that so controversial to walk down?
Here they are scissoring. I can't show you the rest of it. Okay, Tucker.
Yeah. So
just imagine the worst thing you could think of.
It's not that terrible as they're making it seem. They're just being ridiculous. Like there was that show Lucifer.
Sure.
There was.
So what is the controversy about it though? Like, what are people saying?
Just that he lap danced on the devil.
They're just saying what it was. See, here's the
thing. They're like, oh no, the young children are going to do lap dances on Satan. Like, if they aren't already, well, then they're not going to now because of that video.
So from what I understand about it, like this is something you hear a lot from when people have these conversations. People will say, if you don't do this and this and this, you're going to go to hell. And then people will say, well, great. That's where the fun part's going to be. Right. Because
right, for sure.
Right. True and facts. The thing about it too, is that a lot of religious people will say that you can't, if you're gay, like there's nothing you can do. You're gay. You're going to go to hell. Right. So even if you're lead a good life, you're Christ-like, all that stuff. Hey, it's the one unforgivable sin, evidently, right? Well, so that was kind of his message, right? He was like, okay, well, if I'm going to hell, I'm gonna, like you're saying, I'm going to hell. Here we go. It's a party. From what I understand, that was kind of the theme of the video, right?
Yeah. Basically, that is just like, hey, I'm going to hell, so I'm just. That wasn't the point of the video. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that's he in real life. He was like, hey. You guys are saying I'm going to go to hell anyway, so why can't I go to hell in my video? Like,
right.
What's your major malfunction? I mean, I will say this. Okay, so first off, I got this text. Not from a random person, but I'm going to just leave the person unnamed.
Okay, so they're random to us.
Sure.
It was the Pope. The Pope sent it to you, didn't he?
I know the person.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But y'all, yeah. Okay, so I was told that I cannot eat any red meat for the next few days. This was on Thursdays. From Thursday to Saturday, no red meat.
Was this a doctor or just no?
No, stop. Okay. Let me talk.
Jeez. I'm wondering if this was a doctor telling you.
Let me just say words. Gosh. Okay, so no red meat. From Thursday to Saturday, and only fish. And then the most important day, which was Good Friday, is the day of the crucifixion. So, of God. So, don't listen to music for 3 days. And please do it to be respectful. And like, this is a very, okay, I'll just say this. It's a very religious person in my family that sent me that.
I would assume so.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, like, is this seriously a thing that a lot of Catholics, Christians actually follow? Oh my gosh. Hold on. My notifications are going crazy.
Yeah, it's a Catholic thing. The Protestants don't really do that. We like a fish fry as much as anyone else, but
Right. But what I'm
yeah.
saying is that do all these Catholics and Christians actually go by that during this Holy Week? I don't buy it. And they're so stuck on, certain people are going to go to hell because they don't do this. It's the whole cherry picking thing again. They're religious people love to cherry pick. They love to do specific things like, you can't do this, you can't do that because I don't do it, so you shouldn't do it. And
Right.
it's just so absurd. So I would say that that's one of the controversies, that it's like, well, I don't feel comfortable watching you lap dance on Satan because I technically kind of like it, so I don't want you to do it. That's what I think is going on.
So I got two things I'm going to talk about real quick. So one was, I used to do a web show called According to Satan, where I would paint my whole body red and wear a smoking jacket, and I was Satan. I had horns and the whole deal. And it was just like a comedy, sketch comedy, early days of YouTube, where Satan and his neighbors did sketchy things, but sketchy as in like sketch comedy.
Right.
And I was amazed by how many people told me I was going to hell.
Oh my gosh.
Because they're like, Satan is real and you're not taking it seriously. And it's like, okay, really? And these are reasonable people, right? Like, I don't know that Satan is I've read the Bible. Satan is characterized in a lot of different things, but it seems like it's an analogy, right? I don't like okay, whatever, you think he's a real thing or whatever, okay, and you're scared of him. I'm not scared of him.
Right.
I'm making fun of him, right? I'm making fun of the concept of it.
What are they going to live in the life of fear?
But I would go to church and people would like try to make me feel guilty for doing a comedy show where I was painted like the devil, like a cartoon Satan. So that's one. Two, again, this is where I like studying the Bible in my past and all that stuff. Okay, so if you are gay and you're a Christian, a lot of people will tell you can't be those two things. What I'm going to tell you right now is that one of the texts that they're constantly referring to, it's one of the very few references in the New Testament. There were two letters to the Corinthians that Paul the Apostle wrote. The first letter he wrote to the Corinthians because he was like, hey, yeah, I know God forgives everything, but you guys are like taking that a little bit. You're kind of turning that into a brand, because it was a church that one of the members was banging his mom. And everybody was like, look how forgiving we are. We have this guy and he's banging his mom, right? So we welcome everybody into our church. And he was like, maybe tell him not to bang his mom anymore. And tell him that he can't come back to church until like he stops banging his mom, and stop bragging about the fact that you have somebody in your church that's banging their mom.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was the first letter to the Corinthians. He had to write a second letter to them because now the guy stopped banging his mom and they were like, you can't come in here. You're filthy. You banged your mom. So the pendulum swang the complete opposite direction.
Uh-huh.
And that's the second letter of Corinthians. This is the important one, because this is where Paul says,
for my last letter,
he said, you mother effers. Okay. He didn't say that, but he said, look, guys.
Because they weren't. That was only one guy.
Exactly. He goes, look, the guy stopped banging his mom, and now you're making him feel like he can never like get God's grace again. Here's the thing. If you've done any of these things, and he lists a ton of things, one of them is homosexuality. One of them is lying, little white lies. One of them is cheating on your test. It's things that we've all done. We've all done something on that list. That's the whole point. He's like, then you need grace, and stop telling this guy that he's worse than you. And somehow people have taken that and picked that one. They cherry picked that one thing, and they want to make you the guy that banged his mom. That's not Christ-like. It's not what Paul the Apostle was trying to say. You can love God and have any of those things on that list on your resume.
You idiot.
In fact, you'll have a bunch of them probably
Right.
just living your life. So Lil Nas X, you know, I think it's great. I think it's great. I
Yeah.
haven't watched it yet. I want to. Sounds awesome.
I don't know how old Lil Nas X is.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that a lot of people are like, he's
But
great.
I will say that if he came out when he was 17
Mm-hmm.
and he is much like a cicada, strong, screaming, and we're all here for it.
Hello.
Oh no. Hold on. Of course, this is when my computer, decides to freak out. Anyway.
Fancy.
Are you serious? Computer, turn off sound. At least I recorded the episode.
Hey.
Yeah, so that was.
Was that our outro music? It goes da 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 da.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so my computer this morning, there was an update last night, so it's been freaking out, and of course it started to freak out right when I was trying to finish up. So
That was a good episode.
Yeah, I thought it was a great one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop this live from onto YouTube.